I live in a nice and mostly calm neighborhood, the kind where people smile politely but secretly spy on each other through the blinds. It's the sort of place where even the grass gets judged, because, of course, we have a homeowners association. And at the very top of this petty little pyramid sits none other than Helen, the HOA president. Now, when I say Helen, I don't mean it kindly. She is the textbook definition of an HOA tyrant. Short blonde bob haircut, clipboard surgically attached to her hand, and an expression permanently stuck somewhere between disapproval and constipation. If a leaf dared fall on your lawn, she was already dialing your number to let you know that we don't do that here. Helen lived for petty power trips, and believe me, I was one of her favorite victims. She fined me for the most irrelevant, microscopic nonsense you could imagine. One time, she slapped a $50 citation on me because my trash can lid wasn't closed all the way. Another time, she fined me $100 because my lawn gnome, yes, the harmless little garden gnome, was facing the street inappropriately. And my personal favorite, she hit me with a $75 fine because my car tires left wet marks on the driveway after it rained. Yes, apparently water stains are now a criminal offense in Helen's HOA kingdom. So imagine me, one ordinary morning, sitting on my porch, sipping a nice hot cup of tea, enjoying what was supposed to be a peaceful day off. Birds chirping, sun shining, a rare moment where I thought, maybe this place isn't so bad. But peace and Helen cannot coexist. Out of nowhere, a squad car rolls up and two officers step out. "Are you Victor?" one of them asks. The officer's question hung in the air while I blinked, still clutching my tea like it was the only stable thing in the universe. "Yeah, I'm Victor," I said cautiously, already dreading where this circus was going. That's when the taller cop cleared his throat and read from his notepad, like he was announcing the winner of some bizarre raffle. "Your HOA president, Helen, claims you stole and murdered her cat." He looked up at me with an expression that screamed, "Please tell me this is a prank so I can go home." My jaw dropped. "Her cat? I don't even like cats." "No offense," I said quickly, nodding at the shorter officer who looked like he probably owned three. I raised my teacup. "Do I look like someone who's got time for feline assassination plots before breakfast?" Before they could respond, Helen came power marching across the street in her fluffy pink robe and slippers, like some deranged queen ready for a coronation. She was waving a stack of stapled papers, shrieking, "Arrest him! He did it! I saw everything in my dream." Yes, a dream. She actually admitted it. The officers glanced at each other, fighting the urge to laugh. One muttered, "Ma'am, are you saying this is based on something you dreamed about?" Helen slapped the papers against her clipboard. "Not just any dream, prophetic. My grandmother had the gift, and I've inherited it. I watched him in my vision, sneaking into my house, grabbing poor Mr. Whiskers and she clutched her chest dramatically, ending him. I swear the neighborhood must have smelled the crazy because by then a small crowd had gathered. People in pajamas, coffee mugs in hand, leaning on fences to watch Helen's meltdown like it was Saturday morning entertainment. Some snickered, some filmed on their phones, and one guy shouted, "Hey, Helen, maybe check under your bed before accusing people of cat homicide." I nearly choked on my tea laughing. By the time Helen finished her street corner meltdown, it was clear she had gone nuclear on herself. The cops, bless their patience, told her flat out, "Ma'am, you cannot accuse your neighbor of cat murder based on a dream." That should have been the end of it, but Helen doubled down, waving her flyers in the air like she was unveiling a smoking gun. The best part? She had actually photoshopped me into some stock photo of a guy holding a cat, except the cat was poorly erased with jagged white pixels. She screamed, "This is evidence," and one officer muttered, "This is like something my kid made in Microsoft Paint." The crowd erupted. By the end of the day, Helen's flyers had made their way online. Screenshots flooded the neighborhood Facebook page, and the comments section turned into a roast session hotter than hell's barbecue pit. One neighbor posted, "Dream Police coming to NBC this fall." Another wrote, "Imagine thinking Section 18.2-461 is a weapon when it's literally the law she broke." People laughed so hard they started tagging friends from outside the neighborhood just to watch the chaos. And chaos it was. Helen had filed an official report with the cops, citing me as a suspect. The problem? Section 18.2-461 of Virginia law clearly punishes making false statements to law enforcement. When the officers explained this to her in front of everyone, you could feel the secondhand embarrassment crawl through the air. She tried to argue, but the law was the law. A fine landed squarely on her shoulders, and for once, she couldn't find her way out of it. The queen of citations had finally been cited. The HOA board couldn't ignore it either. An emergency vote was called. The meeting room was packed, standing room only, as neighbors showed up just to watch Helen burn. She stomped in, clutching her clipboard like a toddler holding a security blanket, demanding her seat of power remain untouched. But one by one, people lined up to speak. Mr. Jenkins from 3 doors down held up one of her flyers and said, "This is what our dues are funding? Comic Sans cat murder propaganda?" Laughter exploded. Even the usually stone-faced board members chuckled. When the final vote came, it wasn't even close. Helen was officially removed as HOA president. But that wasn't enough for the neighborhood. Oh no, revenge had to be sweet, humiliating, and unforgettable. Someone suggested a goodbye Helen block party. Everyone pitched in. There were balloons, cake, music, even custom t-shirts with a cartoon of Mr. Whiskers wearing sunglasses and the words, "Still alive, still fabulous." The pièce de résistance? A giant piñata shaped like Helen's infamous clipboard. Kids lined up to whack it open, candy spilling across the lawn as parents cheered. Helen, forced to watch her reputation unravel in real time, turned redder than a stop sign. She tried to storm off, but her own husband muttered loudly enough for everyone to hear, "I told you to stop watching those true crime shows before bed." The crowd howled. And me? I just raised my tea in a toast and said, "Sweet dreams, Helen." The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Have you had a similar encounter with a Karen or anyone in the HOA board? Let us know in the comments.